One of the things we always have to deal with in life is impermanence. Things don't last. They come to an end. Things change, sometimes surprisingly, even violently. People die, get ill, lose jobs. And I think often a difficult one is when we have to move and we are far away from the people that we love. Doesn't mean that those relationships die. Friendship is a garden, we keep watering it, we keep going. But simply we miss people. And how do we live with this? And how do we live with this joyfully, that our joy may be complete? Jesus teaches the apostles to abide in him, make their home in him, as it's sometimes translated, to abide in him as he abides in them. This is something constant. It's eternal. O thou who changest not, abide with me, as we sing in the hymn. A hymn often for funerals, it was written by a hymn writer as he was dying, with great hope in the cross of the Lord and the light of his resurrection. Matthias, who replaces Judas just before Pentecost, just before the coming of the Holy Spirit on the 12 apostles. Matthias is chosen under Peter's inspired guidance because he is a witness to the resurrection of the Lord, but not just the resurrection on its own, but you notice he has to be one of those who had accompanied them right from the time of the baptism of John the Baptist up to the time when the Lord was taken from us, his ascension into heaven. He is a witness to the resurrection, in a sense, in witnessing to the whole thing. The Lord who poured out his life, who teaches us that we can lay down our lives, we can give ourselves without fear, because it's often fear of impermanence, fear of change that holds us back. But we can give ourselves because the Lord has given himself for us. He has died and he has risen. And he has gone up so that we can go with him. We can be taken up. It was important that Matthias was a witness. Not just a witness to an experience, a lovely idea, something we find uplifting that may well help us to cope with the challenges and impermanences of life. But, it fades after a while. It can only last so long, and then we look for the next thing. And we may fail and fall away and be discouraged. The tragedy of Judas, of course, is not that he sinned and sinned grievously, not even that he went away, and not even most of all that he betrayed the Lord, but that he didn't come back. O thou who changest not, abide with me. The Lord was always there, always ready to welcome him back in his abiding mercy. Judas buys the field that doesn't satisfy him. It all ends in tragedy. Now nobody, including Judas, is beyond the mercy of the Lord. It's not for us to speculate his final end, but it is always for us to turn to the mercy of the risen Lord, because we have inherited the testimony of eyewitnesses who saw the Lord in his ministry, in his suffering and death, and met the risen Lord. And that strengthens us as we receive the risen Lord in Holy Communion, who abides in us, so that we can abide in him and know always that whatever changes and however far apart we sometimes find ourselves from those we love, it is the abiding love of the Lord, he who sends us the Holy Spirit to be the love between us, that abiding love. We are always so closely connected. After all, we can be physically present to each other, but not always spiritually present. Yet even if we are far apart, we are deeply present because the risen Lord is present to us.